Yeah, that's better. You can get it. Marvelous.
Yo, what's good? Welcome back to the channel, y'all. And look. Delinquents. We finally made it to the release of EB02 in the East, gang. Let's get it. Yes, look, EB02 is officially released in Japan. I don't even want to sit here and talk about what ifs or what can this deck do. Let's just go ahead and get straight to the tier list, gang. Let's get it. So welcome back, and as you guys can see, we added all the brand new EB02 leaders to the tier list. I'm just playing. We just added this one new leader from EB02, but nonetheless, we haven't done a tier list on the channel in a hot ass minute. So that being said, let's go over all the tiers, because as you guys can see, our tier list isn't like the regular oatmeal and some fruit in the morning type of tier list. We got some shit that makes the bitches panties go down to the floor. As you guys can see, we have Shice, we have A1, we got Brazy, we got Cold, and we got Dog Water. If you guys are new, like what I just said earlier, you have no clue what any of these tiers are, let's scroll all the way up to the top. Shice is your best tier decks in the format. These are decks you're really going to be building every other deck around to beat, such as, actually, I'm not even going to spoil it for you. Just know these are the best decks in the format to look out for, okay? Second column we got is A1. They're not necessarily the best deck, but they're very good options. You can win a tournament with these particular decks. Some of these decks you really don't even need to think like that to use them, so it's still relatively easy to use. They just don't make the criteria or popularity to be in Shice. The next column we have right here is Brazy. So Brazy is more of a tier 2 type of deck. These are the type of decks that still can win. It just requires a little bit more effort, which means you need to know your matchups. You need to know every single line. You need to, just play perfectly. If you mess up once with this particular deck, more likely you're going to lose. This is a high skilling column. So, some of these decks can win, but you gotta know what the fuck you're doing, okay? The next column we got right here is Cold. Cold is like a rogue type of tier. This is the undiscovered type of tier. I mean, this is the type of tier that I don't want to really put the deck in Dog Water. I mean, you actually have to put in some work to beat Dog Water in my tier list. So, that's where some of these decks are gonna go rogue, undiscovered. And then the last tier we have right here is Dog Water. And like I said earlier, if your deck is Dog Water, you might as well not even show up. What are you even doing at the tournament? Just go to the playground, go play on the jungle gyms, because that shit is trash.
Know your fucking place, trash. Fucking robots.
So that's what every column is. This is S tier, this is A1, which is tier 1, tier 2, undiscovered, and absolutely just Dog Water, trash. There's one more thing I'm gonna tell you guys. I haven't done it in any of my tier lists. Since EB02 comes out with so much impactful cards, I'm gonna put them all on the screen right now, because I'm gonna be referencing them throughout the video, and I'm not gonna keep on bringing it up. For the next 15 to 30 seconds, I want you guys to take your time and read the cards on the screen. I know you motherfuckers are fucking lazy, but stop being a dickhead and read what's on the screen. See, I'll be back in 15 to 30 seconds.
And here we go.
Let's go ahead and get straight into the tier list. The first deck we have right here is the brand new leader from EB02, this purple green Luffy. I'm not really a fan of it, just being able to restand 2 down with having Straw Hats on the board. Not really that good. I don't want to put it in Dog Water. You actually have to put in some work to make it into Dog Water. So with that being said, I'm gonna just put it in undiscovered Cold. Let's just see what it does, and more likely once it flops, it could just go with the other brethren that they have in the Dog Water. The next deck we have right here is going to be our first tier 1 A1 category deck, which is Blue Black Usopp. Blue Black Usopp is Shice. I always called this deck trash, but ever since it won the Asia tournament, okay, it's beating debunking all the allegations currently. It's a decent deck. The biggest thing about this deck is not necessarily the cards it's playing, it's really the combo that it can use. The blue-black combo is the best color combo in the game, okay? If you guys will remember and you guys saw the Sakazuki, the promo Sakazuki with me playing against it, you know that just that color alone is crazy. If you guys didn't see that video, you have to be a member, hop off the porch. Nonetheless, blue-black Usopp, very nice, being able to abuse that brand new Gecko Moria 2.0 and the Rebecca, being able to abuse the Kairos, just bouncing things back to the opponent's hand, pretty much a steroid version of Blue Law for Blue Doflamingo, and just abusing that leader ability every time a Dressrosa card does get popped and you only have 5 cards in hand, you get to replenish a card from your deck and add it to your hand. I've seen this happen to where, you know, an opponent gets an extra card from destroying a Dressrosa card on the board, and that card they ended up drawing was a 2K to win them the game. So blue-black Usopp, definitely an A1 deck, not S tier, and you know, at all, definitely not S tier, but just that color combo and the support it has, very shice. And another thing about this deck is that this deck doesn't even really want Gecko Moria, so actually shice. Next deck we have right here is Delinquents. Look, it is now our time to spin the block. It is now our time to take everybody's lunch money, because Adele YGOD is now in shice tier. Everybody just give themselves a round of applause. We made it. We actually made it, okay? Look, everybody's trying to ban us before the shit comes out.
Do I think NL deserves to get banned? Short answer is yes. Long answer is yes, because with ball creep being real, NL will become broken.
What the hell?
That's how you know they bitch is about to get fucked. Don't even bring them. They gonna take all our hoes, okay? That's the type of shit Adele's on. Adele's officially in S tier. If you guys paid attention to the card I showed you in the beginning of the video, the reason why Anel's going to be S tier is probably not going to be the best S tier deck. This is probably the, you know, the deck all the way in the back until it proves itself. I don't like saying this is going to be the best deck in the format unless it has results. So right now, this is the back of S tier, but the main reason why this deck is so good, the reason why YGOD is now on top, is because of the brand new searchers. You guys saw it on the screen with the yellow searcher being able to search all of their high end. When I used to play Anel and main Anel, the biggest thing with me was that we had no fucking way to search any cards, and the fact that we can now have we can now search out all the broken cards with the brand new searcher card in EB02. Crazy. On top of getting the Anel. Look, I have to put that Anel on the screen right now. Y'all see that Anel? This is pretty much an ace on steroids, and it literally bypasses the Blackbeard matchup with the when attacking, so you can literally activate this every single turn, attacking at 12k. This is going to be an S tier deck. I don't know if it's going to be the best tier. I don't know if it's going to be tier 0, but I know this is going to be an S tier deck. It just has to prove itself so I could put it in the best S tier deck. YGOD gang, we made it. Okay, if you don't like yellow, all I gotta tell you is
nobody fucking cares. You thought I agree with you? Nobody fucking cares, nigga. You hear me?
exactly. That's all I gotta tell you, and suck a dick, because we about to spin the block. All right, that's all I gotta say. Next deck is, oh my god, it's not, almost said its name. We don't talk about Voldemort on the channel. We're gonna put this in we're definitely just gonna put this in Brazy. I feel like it did get a little bit of the power creep. I was gonna put this in Dog Water, but Voldemort, we don't talk about Voldemort on the channel, so I will have to put this in Brazy. Still a decent deck, but like I said, we don't talk about Voldemort on the channel. Let's keep on going before I get a virus. Next card we have right here is the Red-Green Smoker. So the Red-Green Smoker, where am I going to put this? I guess I could put this at A1. This is an A1 deck. It has been showing up. It hasn't won anything yet, but it's still a really good option. Just being able to have all your Punk Hazard and Navy cards have at plus 1,000 power. Very nice. But the biggest thing is if you have a 7,000 body on the board, allows you to restand 2 Dawn. I feel like I'm going to put this in Brazy because I feel like this is a skill ceiling type of deck. There's a reason why you haven't seen it win at all in the East right now, and I just feel like you have to play this deck perfectly. I don't really see this being in A1. I can really see it just being in Brazy, probably the top of Brazy. It's pretty much, this deck is pretty much a A1 deck. You just have to play it correctly. I just feel like a lot of people just not playing it correctly when it comes to the East, just being able to abuse the 8 cost kid all the brand new smoker support in OP10. It's just really shicey, my personal opinion. So I'm gonna just put this right here in Brazy. The next leader we have is the Marco. So I'm putting this Marco right here. I don't care. Marco is one of the people that gets a huge buff from EB02 with the brand new searches, just being able to search out the high-end characters such as the Silver's Rally, the Sanji, the Edward Newgate. I feel like Brazy, this leader can even be quite possibly an A1, but like I said, there's a skill ceiling on all these decks. All these decks right here are really you know, A1 tier 1, except for Voldemort. Okay, Voldemort is permanently in Brazy, but nonetheless, Marco, I feel like it could be an A1, but with those searchers, just being able to search out everything high end in your deck, this is really going to help the deck dramatically. I've been telling you guys to pick up all your Marco stuff because we might see this deck, you know, rise to the occasion, but we have to see. I feel like this is a skill ceiling check, and also if the searcher is going to propel it to the next level. Next deck we got right here is this Kid. Initially I put Kid in Brazy the last time I did an OP10 tier list, but I have to put this in A1. I've been looking at a lot of topping decks, and Kid has actually been showing up. You guys see it on the top tables at the CS Wave 2 events. You guys been seeing it winning at locals. I feel like this is one of the best yellow decks in the game, just being able to abuse its leader ability, restanding a character with blocker, being able to abuse the Basil Hawkins, the Hawkins every time you, and that's the crazy thing with this particular deck, is that you can really abuse that Hawkins to rip their life. The biggest thing about this whole entire deck is standing up blockers and burning their life with the Nico Robin, the Basil Hawkins, and also the Kid, and ending off the games with things such as the Ace. I feel like this might be the second best yellow deck out there. Very shiesty, my personal opinion, and yeah, you know, it's earned its A1 spot. Another deck that has gotten a power boost is this Calgera with the brand new support. All the support I said with Fidel, Calgera got, so I feel like this might be the best mono rush aggro deck in the game, and EB02 will be this Calgera, just being able to search out all your high end. The biggest reason why this deck is really going to see a big resurgence, in my personal opinion, is that now you have now you look, I can't even talk. Now you have a way to search out your Nolan. The main issue with this deck when you guys are playing this deck is that you cannot search your Nolan. If you guys don't know what Nolan is, you see on the screen, you pretty much replenish life every time you play it. That was the biggest issue with this deck. So the fact that not only you get the Nolan, but now you get the Enel as well, since it is a Skypea, a Sky Island type of card and leader, I feel like Calgera could even quite possibly be an A1 in my personal opinion. But like I said, I really don't like putting decks in A1 until it proves itself, because this is like one of the cream of the crop decks. So in my personal opinion, I will have to put Calgera up here in Brazy. I'm really interested to see if these two decks really do anything. Sugar has one top, so if it has one top, I'm just gonna put this in cold. Very interesting deck. The biggest thing about this particular deck in OP10 is that once you figure out what this deck does, you pretty much just always lose when you play Sugar. The biggest thing about this deck is it really abusing all of those crazy events in your deck. And yeah, that's my opinion about Sugar. It only has one top, and off of One Piece top decks, and nothing from the EB02 set really gets, you know, helps this deck with support. So in my personal opinion, I would have to put this right in cold where it belongs. The next deck we have right here is RP Luffy. Like I said about these three, RP Luffy is one of those other type of decks that actually get a boost from the searchers with the red and purple side. Just being able to search out the Silver's Rally and the Edward Newgate is very, look, just being able to find your pieces to the puzzle early in the game is going to make this deck rise. It's already a, you know, a pretty decent deck. It has some tops. I don't think it's cold. I don't think it's Brazy. Even with the support, I still don't see it propelling itself to A1. But like I said earlier, these are all skill ceiling decks except for Voldemort, okay? If you guys know what you're doing, you can really spin the block. It's definitely not an A1, but in my personal opinion, I'll still put it in Brazy, okay? So that's just what it is. Another card we have right here, our deck is fucking, what's her name? I was about to call this bitch Nico Robin. I can't say it. Everybody's going to be fucking pissed if I say it's not Nico Robin. Look at her hair. Suck a dick. Okay, this is Boa. Boa is actually has been gaining a lot of popularity. I'm actually not surprised. I think a lot of people in the East are starting to play Boa because they know later down the line, Blue Doflamingo is going to get hit. And if you guys did not know, before we even continue, I need to tell you guys this. We are in ban list season right now. Okay, this is the time where we usually get a ban list around Worlds or after Worlds. So we are literally in ban list season, and I feel like a lot of people are starting to shift over to Boa because they know Blue Doflamingo's representation and popularity is too high, is going to get hit. So if that being said, I feel like that's the reason why Boa is starting to see more popularity. So people are already well seasoned with the deck if and when a Blue Doflamingo hit does come, because like I said, Blue Doflamingo, I know a lot of you guys don't want to hear a ban, but let's be real, Bandai is a company. They're not going to want to push a 2024 structure deck in 2025 of all the brand new sets. Y'all got to be honest with yourself. So to be able to move the game forward, there will more likely be a possible hit. Maybe not the leader. We'll get into Blue Doflamingo a little bit later, but I think that's the reason why he's starting to see Boa a little bit more, just because of the possible hit for Blue Doflamingo coming up. Next deck we got right here is I feel like this is one of the hardest combo decks in the game to use, to be honest with you. It doesn't really have that many tops. Yeah, we're just gonna put this in Brazy. Yeah, these decks don't really have too many tops. Actually, we're gonna put Smoker. We're gonna put Smoker right here. We're getting way too many decks in Brazy. We're gonna put Smoker at the back of A1. Okay, I've been talking about Smoker. We're gonna put Smoker back on A1, but for Yellow Green Law, this is one of the, a lot of people in the East are saying this is the hardest combo deck. It's between this and BY Luffy. The main reason why is just you just have to know your lines. There's so many lines with this deck. It's actually insane. Anybody that actually played this deck will tell you that this is a very hard, rewarding deck. Okay, so if you guys do like combo decks, if you guys do want to challenge but want to be rewarded once you guys do learn your lines, such as BY Luffy, this is the type of deck to play. It doesn't really have too many tops, but if you are a skilled pilot, this could easily be an A1 deck off rip. You get what I'm saying? Same thing with BY Luffy. That's the reason why I put both of these right next to each other, because these are in the same boat. You gotta know your lines, hardest combo deck, yada yada yada. No reason for us to talk about it. Blue Yellow Luffy only has 2 to 3 tops in the OP10 meta. The only difference is that I feel like this deck might be at the back of A1, just because of the brand new searchers, just being able to search out your Gecko Morias now. The Kuzans is actually insane. So this can really be the top of Brazy, or it could be the back of A1. But for right now, I put it at the back. Actually, I can't look. I can't play favoritism. BY Luffy hasn't done anything until it proves itself to put itself in A1. I can't put it in Brazy. BY Luffy only has 2 or 3 tops, so I have to put it at the top of Brazy, just because it is the hardest, one of the hardest skill decks to use. And even though, actually, fuck that shit. With the searchers, we're putting this to the back of A1. Fuck it. Lim. The thing about Lim, everybody's asking me about Lim. The thing about Lim is that the reason why it did so good week 1 is because nobody knew what the fuck this deck did, and then once people figured out what this deck does, it literally fell off a cliff. It literally just dived right into the cement off of a huge ass skyscraper in LA. It's cold, definitely not dog water, but you know, I feel like comparing Lim to all these other decks, I don't know. I feel like it belongs to cold. This is another S tier deck we have right here in Blue Doflamingo. Look, I'm not even gonna talk to y'all about Blue Doflamingo. I talked about it briefly with Boa, and I feel like this deck is going to get hit. Like I said earlier, in order for us to push the game forward, Bandai has to make hits. So you guys have a reason to buy the new shit. It makes no sense to keep the most popular, most represented, and probably the most winning deck to still be here in the new year, especially since this came in a structured deck. This deck came in a structured deck. You guys haven't noticed, the last structured deck leader that was out was Law, and that got banned. The reason why they put shit in structured decks is because they want everybody to be able to play the broken shit affordable, and when they hit it, they don't really feel bad because, you know, it was in a fucking structure deck from last year. I feel like this deck is going to get hit. Now you guys are probably going to ask me, what card do you guys think is going to get hit? A lot of people are saying Jinbei in the beginning. I really don't want to see the leader go. I feel like the only thing this deck really needs is the bounce to the Law. The bounce Law. You ban that card, I think everything's fine. But hey, if they end up banning this fucking leader, then that's a huge rip. I don't know. I just know something's going to get hit with this. It makes no sense, you know, as a company, just to keep this deck still around moving forward, and that's the reason why you see the resurgence of Boa in the meta for the OP10 meta. So, you know, I feel like there's a hit coming. We're in prime ban list season right now, so you know, just make sure you stay tuned and tell me what you guys think is going to get addressed in Doflamingo. All right, so next deck we have right here is this purple black Luffy. There's a couple tops with this purple black Luffy, but let's be honest, is it really better than any of these other decks we just named? I feel like purple black Luffy is the best of cold. I don't feel like it's in Brazy. These are some crazy ass decks up here. And the thing about purple black Luffy is it's always just so underwhelming when you play against it and when you play the deck. I feel like they should have put more cards into it. I don't know. And the fact that it's a 4-life leader, look, it struggles. It definitely struggles. Next deck we got right here is the Shanks. Shanks can go into A1. You know what's crazy about Shanks is that, you know, this deck has still not won anything in Asia. It still hasn't won anything, which is crazy, but it is still an A1 deck. My personal opinion, I feel like it's the best red deck in the format, and it also did get a buff with the brand new OP10 card. You guys see it on screen, forgot the name of it, but yeah, very decent deck. Just being able to abuse the Ben Beckman, the Gold D Roger, the 10-drop Shanks. I mean, everything is real shites in my personal opinion. It just hasn't won, and compared to the West, for some reason everybody loves Shanks, but in the East it still has one, but still an A1 deck. Next deck we have right here is the Premier Black deck. I feel like this is the Premier Black deck in OP10 just because of Tashigi. Tashigi is the reason why this is the Premier Black deck with the boost of Blackbeard in OP10. Lucci literally fell off a cliff. You really don't see too much Lucci like that just because Blackbeard fucked Lucci, bitch, just turning off the deck. And yeah, I feel like this is the Premier Black deck just solely because of Tashigi. As you guys can see, our list is pretty decent so far. Let's keep on going. Trafalgar D Law, I'm gonna be real with y'all, there was only one top with this card. I'm gonna put this shit in dog water. This shit's not good. The guy that won must have paid everybody off. I don't know how this guy won. Decent deck, but when we compare this compared to everything else, I don't see it. I put that shit's going to dog water. Katakuri does have a couple wins. Is it really dog water? No, I'll probably put Katakuri in the bag of cold. The thing about Katakuri is that after EB02 and OP11, I feel like with the support, this deck can literally shoot up to probably like A1 or Brazy. So if you guys are a Katakuri fan and you guys still want to just keep on playing it when it's time for us to get to OP10 and EB02, this won't be a bad choice. But for right now, for EB02, I feel like this is still a cold deck. Zoro, I'm gonna be real with y'all, Zoro is definitely down here. There is a brand new Chopper card that did come out for EB02. I don't know if they're gonna use it or not. You guys see it on the screen for an animal package, but I have to put Zoro all the way at the bottom. Yeah, it's done. Actually, let's put Zoro at the bottom. Let's put him at cold. He's pretty decent. I feel like it's on the same power level compared to all of these. Yeah, I feel like it's really just still on the same power level, to be honest with you. Next deck we got right here is Rob Lucci. I feel like Rob Lucci might be the best deck of Brazy, just being able to blow up the board. The only reason why this deck is kind of struggling at the moment is just because of Blackbeard's dominance and Bleed White Luffy's dominance. I mean, fucking there's a lot of cards on this, or not cards, I'm sorry, decks in this list that really just shits on Rob Lucci. I feel like Rob Lucci is still a decent deck, but it's no longer an A1 in Shites. I know a lot of people are gonna be jumping in air, you know, rubbing their fucking face saying, oh yes, it's no longer the best. There you go, pussy. It's no longer in an A1 or Shites, okay? Next deck we got right here is Rebecca. I'm gonna be real with y'all, I completely flopped on Rebecca. I thought Rebecca was gonna do something. Rebecca isn't doing a goddamn thing. I think so far in OP10, there's literally only have one top. And I don't know, like, why would you use this deck instead of using blue black Usopp? That's the real question. Why in the world would you literally use blue black Rebecca besides her having the big ass biddies out, okay, compared to the blue black Usopp? I mean, if you guys want to use a blue black deck, you might as well go use this, and especially since this can't attack. This is Red Luffy. If you guys didn't know where I'm even getting these decks from or how I'm getting these decks, I just picked up every single deck from One Piece top deck that's topped in OP10, and I put it on the tier list. This deck topped once. I feel like this deck is dog water. The guy must have gotten lucky at locals. The next S tier deck we have right here is Blackbeard. So Blackbeard, I've talked so much about Blackbeard, it's almost kind of like Dofi. I don't really need to you know, explain too much about this deck. Just being able to be a floodgate shutting down damn near 80% of the decks you guys see on the screen. It's really like 90% of the decks you see on the screen. Very crazy. But the reason why this deck has gotten so much better is because of that brand new Kuzan that was added to the game. My personal opinion, that Kuzan just makes this deck a lot more easier to use compared to OP10. So if you guys are a Blackbeard player and you guys haven't been lazy and you guys have been practicing up, when you guys get the OP10, even though you guys didn't get nothing EB02, Blackbeard is still going to be these two decks are definitely going to be the best. You just got a new person right here in Enel, and apparently Blackbeard is having a hard time into Enel. So very crazy, very, very crazy. RP Kid, RP Kid, I guess you could put this shit in cold. Decent deck, but you know, I feel like you have to really want to use this. There's a couple of tops with this deck. I don't really see it in breezy or A1. I really just see it in cold. Just leave that there. Next deck we have is Perona. Perona's in dog water. Only reason I put this here just so I could put another card in dog water. I'm sorry for all our Perona fans. Yamato has literally 1 or 2 tops. I'm putting this shit in dog water. I'm not a fan of the fucking Yamato. Very bad deck. Bonnie has fell off a cliff. This is probably right here in Brazy. You know, the thing about Bonnie is that, and just green in general, I just feel like green just needs more support, bro. Like, I don't know what you guys possibly need. Bonnie as a whole, the leader effect is actually shiesty. It's just, green just sucks dick right now. I mean, just the color as a whole just sucks. It just needs more support. And yeah, it's always going to be a top 10 deck in my personal opinion. If this ever falls out of top 10, that means we have some serious power creep going on. Next deck we got right here is Reiju. I feel like this might be the best deck of cold. This is a combo centric deck. I feel like this is the 3rd hardest combo decks in the game to play. And the main reason why you guys really want to be picking up Reiju right now is because with what's it called, OP11 coming out, there's already some blue and purple Vin Smoke support coming out. So this deck can really propel itself to Brazier or even possibly A1 depending on what we get. And you also have a Gecko Moria. I'm sorry, I had to say it a couple times since y'all hate it so much. This deck has a Gecko Moria and Judge that's literally on crack, so very shite in my personal opinion. Gecko Moria, speaking of Gecko Moria, this is also in cold here real quick. I have to keep it real with y'all. I feel like this is the best black deck in cold. Nothing is really new in this deck. It's just you've been seeing a little bit more of a resurgence of Gecko Moria in the East. My best way and favorite way to really see or play with this deck is just hand ripping, just being able to abuse the Peronas, the hollow card. I always forget the name of that card, the hollow card. Just being able to rip cards from your opponent's hands with the issue as well is actually shice, very shice. Next deck we have right here is Vegapunk. I'm putting this shit in dog water right here. Sabo, I'm gonna be real with y'all. I know this is a fan favorite deck, but if we really compare Sabo compared to all the decks in cold, I'm still putting this shit in dog water. I'm sorry. I mean, like, you can pilot the deck really, really well, but when we just talk about power scales, is it really better than any of these decks? Every single one of these decks are crazy. I feel like, how about this? Red Yellow Sabo is definitely the best of dog water, okay? I feel like in this card, this leader just needs more support. And there's actually one deck I actually forgot, which is Bello Betty. Let me just add that one real quick. Okay, we are back. Since we are talking about Red Yellow Sabo, let's talk about Red Bello Betty. I feel like Red Bello Betty, it has to go in Brazy. Definitely in Brazy in my personal opinion. Probably the best aggro deck in the game currently, just because you could just abuse that leader ability, plusing 3,000 power to everything. I think it actually gets a boost with all of those brand new search cards, just being able to search out the Silver's Rally and everything of that nature. So Bello Betty, the best aggro deck in my personal opinion. I think these two are going to be the best aggro decks. I'm not really too sure which one's going to be better, because EB02, I feel like this deck just becomes crazy. So I feel like out of these two decks, it's going to be one of these two is going to be the best aggro decks out there in the streets. The next S tier or A1 deck we do have has to be Purple Luffy. Purple Luffy, we talk about Purple Luffy so much. It's just a staple deck. I don't think it really gets any boost from EB02, but this deck is just, I mean, it's like good old reliable. You know how sometimes you're hungry, you don't know what you want, you have a bowl of cereal of a PB&J. That's pretty much what Purple Luffy is. It's tried and true. We already know what it does. It's always going to be a really good deck if piloted correctly. And yeah, that's just my personal opinion. Blue Yellow Ace is trash, and Vegapunk is trash in my personal opinion. So this is the tier list. If I had to reorder this, we actually have a lot of decks. We're starting to have a lot of decks here. If I had to order this, I still think this is the proper way, and I'm only going to order these 3. All these other ones I don't really care about, so let's just order these. If I had to say the best A1 deck, we could put this here. We could put Paloofy right here. Actually, yeah, let's put Paloofy right here. Let's put Kid. Actually, let's put Smoker right here. Let's put Smoker right here, and then let's put Kid. Okay, and then Shanks, Smoker, and then BY Luffy. I feel like that's right. And then let's just go to this column right here. We have Bonnie. We actually have a lot of people here. I feel like Bonnie might be, actually, let's put, no, Rob Lucci's always the best. Calgara's probably right here. Bonnie. Let's put Marco in between these two. I actually have T-Law probably has to be right here because that's such a skill ceiling type of deck. I feel like this is it right here. The proper ordering for Brazy, and all these other lists or decks we don't really need to talk too much about. But yeah, this is the tier list for EB02. In my personal opinion, I'm starting to realize we're starting to have a lot of fucking good decks out there to choose from. If you guys are looking for a deck to play, use this as a template and pretty much choose. But you know, once the sim gets updated for EB02, I just got to keep it real with y'all. There's a ton of good decks out there. You guys don't have to just play these 3, but these are the meta defining decks are up here. And quite honestly, there's probably going to be a ban. Like I said earlier, we are in ban list season. And yeah, this is my personal tier list, in my personal opinion. Yeah, that's all I got. Tell me below what you guys think, if this is right, or what you guys think, anything or where things should possibly be. But my personal opinion, from all the research I've done, I feel like this is the most accurate tier list that we have for EB02 as a prediction. Okay, so yeah, that's all I got. But look, before I go, if you was feeling the vibes, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll go.